Hey there, Internet. It's Friday. Well, it's Friday if you're on my Patreon, but it is Monday for you guys here on my YouTube channel, and I thank you very much. Yeah, so let's see what's going on. What is the buzz? Tell me what's happening. So, Ian has still, my supervising attorney has still been gone. I'm trying to get everything together to do all the social media stuff, but unfortunately he's still out of office. It's cool. I appreciate what he's doing with, A, getting time with his wife, but B, he's also doing this Trial Lawyers University, which I think we're going to get access to, which is nice because I think it'll be really good to have this experience of putting together having this experience of looking at these conferences, these people talking about what goes on in actual trials before I go into my trial advocacy program in the fall. Traditionally it's spring. They decided to move it up. That's fine. It means I have to take evidence next semester, so I'm going to be hunkering down on Barbari's evidence videos, try to get a little bit ahead. But also, it looks like next week there is a trial. I don't think I'll be participating in the trial at all. I'll tell you what I've been doing. I have actually been putting together, and I'm reformatting templates that I can use because some people don't know what templates are. They keep giving me these examples, so I still have to go find and replace. And instead, I just want to make one where I see things to plug in and I just plug it in. It would be a little easier on me if for some reason, Google Docs does not have a feature Windows has had for years. In Microsoft Word, I can go in and I can take the highlighter and I can, I think it's Control H highlight, Control H unhighlight. Docs doesn't have that feature. I've looked. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments, because that would make life so much easier if I could just highlight where these things go on the template and be able to shortcut them instead of having to go over, click down. And I know that only takes a few seconds each time, but those seconds really build up, especially since I have to highlight it and then go click, and then I have to click no. It's not like I can just click highlight, unhighlight. So it's a pain in the ass. I will say, I think in my experience of having used Google Docs so far, and maybe I'm biased, maybe it's just because it's what I've used for the entirety of my life. Not true. I was also early on Microsoft Works, and if you remember Works, congratulations, you're old like me. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of using Docs. We have to use Sheets as well, which is fine because I'm just as lost in Sheets as I am in Excel. Something I have been doing is I'm trying to kind of get my skill up in Obsidian, which it uses a markdown language, plain text, but it's very cool on Obsidian. Right now I have this a theme I'm using, which is an amber glow. So it looks like the old computers. At least one I had back in the day, which was a Compaq that was basically a briefcase with a keyboard. It was wild. Something I've actually enjoyed watching the past few days is there are videos from like the late 90s, early 2000s. There's actually even one I want to say from like 1989 or so that I saw, which was talking about email being the future, where they used this, they called it an acoustic coupler. It was basically a thing you put on a phone to make it act as a modem. It's a lost piece of technology. It's obsolete. It is very cool, and I'd love to see something like that show up in a sci-fi realm, or even just in a period piece, because let's be honest, something from the 80s or 90s now is a period piece, as much as I hate to admit it because it makes me feel so old. I had to get my haircut Monday morning because last week I wasn't able to make it in time because of a meeting. So it's funny because next week I have a meeting on Tuesday, and I actually moved up I moved up. I'm meeting somebody who it's funny because they're a partner at one of the big law firms here. I'm obviously not big law, but they're a partner, and they're the recruiting part. They're one of the people in charge of recruiting at that firm. And I made full contact with them once that firm rejected me. And I'm like, hey, cool. Since there's no conflict of interest now, well, let's meet up. Turns out we're in the same building, so we're gonna get some coffee. They're very cool. I'm not going to reveal their identity without their permission. So if they give me permission, I'll talk about who I met with. If they don't give me their permission, I won't, because that's how consent works, kids. Anyway, this Tuesday, I got headshots. If you looked on my Instagram, I posted the full line of headshots. There were 2 that were very popular, and there's a third one that I might, because these headshots were free, which is cool. But there is a third one, and honestly, the amount of interest in that makes me think maybe it's worth paying the $20 fee that it is to get that added to the headshots that get filtered, that get touched up. And the photographer was a Filipino. I'm always happy to support my Filipinos. Once I get the shots, I'll put them up, and I'll also be sure to tag her business, because she was a lot of fun. In my last shot, she legitimately made me laugh because she was talking about how she's American, but she threw on the accent hard to be like, why are you not doctor or go and do nursing? I'm like, yes, oh my God, yes. It was fun. Let's see, what else do I have coming up? Yeah, what do I have Monday? Oh yeah, I put on Monday that my boss is coming back to the office, allegedly. That has been the hardest part of this, because my supervising attorney hasn't been here to supervise me into being an attorney. Luckily, the other intern has been working in personal injury for 5 years. They may be a rising 3L, but they have the experience where I'm not completely lost, and they are very helpful, and also they're not afraid to tell me when I say a very stupid thing or go the complete wrong path of thinking with some of these cases. And then she graduated, and one of our other graduates will be taking the bar coming up. In fact, one of our other attorneys will be taking a bar so that they can practice in more areas. It looks like I may be getting lucky, and if everything is right and California is a next-gen bar by the time I take the bar, then I will be able to practice then I'll be able to use one test for New York, DC, and California, and it'll be offered in Georgia, so I can take it in Georgia no matter where I end up working. One of the interesting things about this job is they actually want to build us up into being able to hire us right out of law school and have us work with them through law school. I honestly still don't know how I feel about personal injury, but right now I've just been doing a bunch of the filings, so it makes sense that I really don't know, but hopefully that changes soon. Anyways, I don't think there's really much more I can add, except thank you guys for following me. But in the meantime, guys, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/TheBrokeLawStudent. You can find me as The Broke Law Student on Instagram. You can find me as The Broke Law Student on TikTok. You can find me as The Broke Law Student on YouTube. Anyway, oh yeah, and on Blue Sky, you can find me as, I think, Robin F. Finch. I think The Broke Law Student might have been taken, but if you look for The Broke Law Student, I think that might still be my header. Anyway, peace out, party peoples. I will see you next time. Love y'all. Deuces. I've got long form content coming up soon. Sorry there wasn't anything last Friday, but you know what? There will be things coming very soon and very cool.